Hey, it's Fair Okay. And 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go to New York's largest, or maybe the country's largest LGBT comic festival, convention, basically event that is for LGBT plus comics specifically. I have gone to FlameCon, I think once or twice before. I think this is their third in-person event. I believe they started in 2019. They had another event in 2018. They had another event in 2019. And then 2020 happened. 2021, they were still, I think they did an online event. And then now 2023 is their first in-person event since COVID. And I'm going to let you know what I thought of it. So if I recall, my first year going to FlameCon, I think all of my friends wanted to go to check it out on Sunday, because I'm not sure if this is still the rule, but if you were under 21, on Sundays you got in for free, like you got a kid's pass. And my birthday is August 3rd, so it just passed. And so I had just turned 21, I think, the first time, so I had to pay. In 2019, I was very pleasantly surprised, because for a very sort of new convention, they had lots of out-of-state vendors, people I had never met before, people I had seen on Instagram. And if you go to conventions around an area, you sort of know that after a while you end up seeing the same people over and over and over again. And then you're like, oh, well, I have that print on my wall, or I already have 2 prints from this person, so it doesn't really make sense that I need to go and buy more. We spent almost, I think, all day going to, like, around the artist alley, because it's pretty huge, and meeting lots of cosplayers, lots of people. So anyway, being that it was their first live event in about 3 years, I think, since 2019, so almost 4 years, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I thought that, I had my expectations from the last event that they did, but I thought maybe, it's been a while, maybe they'll be, off their game. But I would say that it was even better. There was a clip that I inserted that I took that was from, I believe, an industry panel. It was something like behind comics industries, and there was one person from, I think, Penguin Young Readers, one person from King Arthur, I think. So you would actually be surprised how many people who sort of work in the industry that you're trying to break into actually go to these smaller comic events, and they're a lot easier to talk to.
So if you're in this room and you're thinking about working in comics and you really want to work in comics, you can literally do anything and work in comics. So I think a lot of people think, oh, I've got to be a writer or an artist or an editor, I have to be a creative person. No, comics needs lawyers, comics needs accountants, comics needs people doing all sorts of jobs, comics needs people to fill the vending machines in the office. So if you really want to work in comics and you don't necessarily have a creative streak, there is something that you can find that you can do.
Well said.
I would say that if you are looking to get involved in comics on the editorial side of things and even on the marketing side, it's important to know that comics is very segmented. You would think it wouldn't be segmented, but the kids market and the YA market and the big 2 superhero markets, all of them are they don't talk to each other really. That's kind of unfortunate, and maybe that will change soon, eventually, but for now, it's like if you plan on working for the big two, you're not necessarily going to know much about, selling to brick and mortar bookstores. You're going to be focusing your attention on brick and mortar comic shops, which sometimes carry graphic novels, like YA graphic novels, but generally speaking, they don't have a large stock of those. And so, the marketplace and sort of like the how to reach the audience is like, it's just very, very different. And so I think that's something that people don't really know about, that if you are looking to get into comics is a good tidbit, because I think that the industry could benefit from the exchange of knowledge, and that the medium itself can kind of thrive.
Trying to get someone's attention in such a huge comic hall like the Javits Center is almost impossible, but in a smaller convention like this is why this is kind of my preference now. You can have a more intimate conversation, and people actually call on you to hear your questions, so that's great. I have bullet points. Now I'm going to follow them. Number 1, venue. I already sort of got into this, and the FlameCon has always taken place, I believe, at the Times Square Sheraton, and it's not directly in Times Square. It's actually right above Times Square, which I think is a great location because it's not too far from kind of like the action. If you're coming from out of state, you probably want to be able to go around and see New York a little bit. And there's a good amount of like decent food. The rooms, so this isn't FlameCon's fault by any means. This is the Sheraton's fault. But I have lots of like little food preferences, and I like to bring my own like fruits and vegetables from home. And the Sheraton has this like policy where, so I called them and I said, hey, do you guys have a refrigerator, like a mini fridge in the room? And they were like, no, if you want one, it's $25. Our rooms have no fridges, mini fridges inside of it. And I was like, that's fine. That's kind of weird because it's not fancy by any means. And this is why it's not fancy. So then when we arrived to the room, there was a fridge in the room, but it was like in a cabinet with a lock. So there are mini fridges in every single room, but you have to pay for a key to open it. I don't know. I thought that was really weird. So as for the hotel that it takes place in, I think it was $190 a night for, a hotel in central Manhattan. That's a pretty good price. But I don't know, they're a little bit stingy, kind of weird. Thankfully, they have a really great convention space, which is what most people care about. Unfortunately, just like many other conventions at this current moment, it is, when you first begin at least, line con, as in like from the Sheraton entrance, there is like in the morning, both days, Saturday and Sunday, there was an extremely long line going all the way from, I think the Sheraton is on 6th Avenue, and it went all the way down to the next avenue and wrapped around the block a little bit. Bra.
Sorry, I had to hit the gritty real quick.
So that could have been better managed, but we've seen that with so many conventions. It's hard to say like, oh, this is a problem, especially when this is run by a nonprofit organization, the volunteer staff, which, by the way, if you really love a convention, you should volunteer there. You get to go for the weekend. I saw some volunteer staff also in cosplay. I saw one person as Link, I think, and one person as Narancia from JoJo. So you probably get a chance to look around and see the event as a volunteer, and you're giving back to an event that you really appreciate, and you get to go for free, so it's a win-win situation. I took videos of a few of my favorite booths. I cannot even fathom the amount of talent. The same thing that I keep saying. You think like, oh, there's the first year back, people are still kind of like getting themselves together. Maybe people don't want to travel for a kind of small LGBT convention in Manhattan. But you would be dead wrong, because FlameCon 2023 brung the talent. Oh my gosh, I should show I'll do a little haul at the end. But a few of my favorites were this one person, I think it was called Radical Clay, made rat-themed clay work. And they had lots of mugs, lots of big bowls. So my current preference is actually, I'm looking when I go to a convention, not just for like art prints anymore, but also like things for my house, because I'm kind of a print gremlin. I know you can't really tell. I usually have a tapestry up there, but it fell off. But I have like a gallery wall of my gay anime prints next to my dining room table. But yeah, I'm like I'm already a print gremlin, so I'm now looking for, if there's a print that really catches my eye, I'll buy it. But I'm mostly looking for like stationery, things that I can incorporate into my daily life, or home things, because I'm sort of now realizing that part of the things that make everyday life like fun is incorporating the things that you love into your every single day life. So, if I'm having a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, I'm going to have my favorite mug and I'm going to smile every single time that I use it. So those are the kinds of things that I was looking for, and thankfully they totally brought their A game. I saw like cutting / charcuterie boards, lamps, Rizzo board prints, which I know I just said I'm staying away from prints, but I love a good Rizzo board print. Not too many, I think that one of the things that we're used to at other conventions is you go into the dealer's room and there's tons of wall scrolls. I don't think I saw a single wall scroll, especially because they don't really have a dealer's room. They just kind of have an artist alley, which, again, it's just my preference. I didn't even realize that they don't have a dealer's room, really. It's just one big thing. But anyway, yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. The first day, me and my friends went as a group of Sanrio characters. I was supposed to be Keroppi, which I love Keroppi, but I couldn't finish all my things, so I kind of scrambled to make a little outfit for myself. And I think it turned out kind of cute, and it was really comfortable, which is fabulous. One of the things that you're going to hear in the background of some of the videos is just how welcoming of an environment it really is. So you walk around, and especially as, the targeted audience of this convention is sort of the LGBT community in New York, which is obviously very prominent, Stonewall and such. So it wasn't just people who, you typically see at your anime conventions that you always go to. It was also just comic fans or people who kind of wanted to check it out, who were New York locals. And everybody was so accepting. People were laughing, having so much fun.
We lost our friends. Is this an attractive vlog angle?
Yeah, actually. Are you ready? I got you.
Bro. Where's...
They're over there.
They're there. Hello. Hi. We look very cute.
May I interest you in a sticker in these trying times?
May interest you in a sticker. Not me zooming in on your boobs.
Like, that's what they're there for. Why do you think they were invented anyway?
I honestly really like this venue. Oh, they have squishables.
Oh my god, they can't do that to me.
They know they're a community.
I remember I saw like an Instagram story from someone that the FlameCon channel, like the FlameCon Instagram account shared, that was like, it was like, I'll share my experience with FlameCon another time, but just so you know, every single year for FlameCon, I'm going to be there. If I don't show up, I am dead. So obviously people feel extremely passionate about it. And I think that is because of the extremely welcoming environment. My audio cut when I was talking to my friend Sam, but we were talking in our hotel room over some fries. And I asked them kind of, how are they feeling about the convention? It was their first year going, and I was very happy to hear that they were having the same kind of feelings as me, where it was like, but they were like, everybody's here to just have fun, talk about anime or video games, and be gay. And that, what else could you really want? We were wearing extremely short skirts, and, there was no fear that someone was ever going to look up our skirts, someone was going to be inappropriate to us, because everyone kind of just, like, was there to have a good time. I needed to be higher. I'm sorry.
Oh, go for it. It's protected. Don't worry about it. Oh. It's not recording.
No, it's not. It's okay. We're
still
having
talking,
Shake Shack.
I'm still talking about how, like, I can make a
No, I
noise
know.
at someone and they'll make a noise back.
Yes.
So good.
I wasn't recording, but I got the audio. That's
Nice.
good enough.
Yeah, because then you can just put a picture, like, video over it.
Oh, that's true. I need audio for all the B-roll I took.
What'd you get?
Just a chicken sandwich.
Nice.
It's really good. I also noticed last time I was here that the Artist Alley and like all the exhibitors were really good, and they often aligned with my interests more than most other conventions.
Yeah.
Like even just normal anime conventions, I find it difficult sometimes to find like, how to say, things that I'm into.
Yeah. Okay,
Because they're more,
It's okay.
sorry,
It's okay. It literally does that.
they're more focused on like shonen,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, they're more focused on fun.
they're more focused on fun. And like the shonen things that they do have are actually more fun and not just like, oh, freaking Deku screaming. So I would say that if you're outside of New York, it is worth the trip if anime and being gay is something that you're interested in. I already talked about the industry panel, but there were lots of very kind of specific, I think they did a really good job of picking topics that you definitely wouldn't see anywhere else, but also like things that were a little bit funny, things that were like actual, like I would write my dissertation on, there was one that was like putting the bi in Robin, Batman and Robin, which is something, so I was a little DC girly, so I like have very extensive opinions of that. So I could write my dissertation on that, and just being like, how many people can really say that they're so passionate about that? But being, in an environment where you can really talk to people who care as much about Robin's bisexuality as you do is just so refreshing. We showed up to, do I even want to talk about that? We showed up halfway to an sort of a fan fiction themed panel. That's how I'm going to describe it. Yeah. A very common fan fiction theme, unfortunately. And, it wasn't like, we sit down, we're at a lecture. Like, everyone was laughing, having so much fun. And that's, what else could you ask for, You're sacrificing, you're giving your weekend, When you go to a convention, you're giving your weekend to surround yourself with like-minded individuals and talk to people. And, this is your weekend activity to have fun. You could have gone to Six Flags, right? But instead, you're going to an anime convention and dressing up like a fictional character. Oh, I also had the opportunity to go to a sports anime and queerness panel, which, again, perfect for me. Oh, that one was so nuanced and interesting because they kind of talked about, are we just a little delulu? Are we just delusional? Are they gay or are they not? They might have said offensive things about my OTP, but I'll forgive them.
Watched a counter starting this panel of everyone getting beamed in the face on Heyyo, and it's just smiling with a bloody nose, and 5 minutes later, everyone's magically healed.
Yeah.
And there's really no scandals. You will not have cheating scandals or drug scandals or home run losses records being taken away. That's not the vibe sports animes go for. And there's no distractions. There's no weird things that pull a focus on. It's this, and it is not healthy. It is very queer, and we wish better for Adam.
We do. He's healing. And also, the voice actor for Adam in the English dub, David Wald, explicitly stated that he played this character very similar to experiences that he has had with drag queens in the past, in the gay scenes that he experienced in his youth growing up. So it is interesting how this character is actually more explicitly queer in the English version versus in the Japanese version of the show. So next we have my parents. I mean, Joe and Cherry. No, literally, my parents are Joe and Cherry. I call my mom and dad Joe and Cherry, and they get mad at me when I do that.
My parents are also Joe and Cherry in the way.
My dad is Joe and my mom is Cherry.
I love that.
Yeah.
They're a little different. While they might visibly be extremely queer, their actual queerness, like literal queerness, is more implied and kind of us projecting the queerness onto them. Actual, explicitly stated queerness. They definitely fulfill the parental roles, as Sarah mentioned. They bicker. They fight like an old married couple, which has to be intentional. These choices are made when people are writing these characters. And they also are shown as masculine and feminine archetypes, and both explicitly male, of course, but masculine and feminine archetypes. Does Cherry identify pronouns?
Cherry is he, him, but Cherry is very clearly based off of the Ikemen, very pretty male, stereotype. I bet all of you who have seen Skate can think of that beach scene where it pans on Cherry and you're like, and this is a pretty woman? No, it's Cherry.
Yeah, and they also implicitly, they will fight like cats and dogs, but if someone bad mouths or hurts the other one is right there. They, no questions asked, have each other's backs. They are partners in every sense of the word.
Yeah. And they've also known each other since childhood, and that's lovely as well. And then we have our favorite.
Wagiraki.
Yes! So Longa is basically our little transplant who comes to Japan wide-eyed and starry-eyed, ready for a new experience, right? So they have these big emotions about each other that they can't really place. I wonder why. Longa at least says he likes Reki in a conversation to his mother, but guess what? His mom interprets it as Longa is talking about a girl. And she literally asks him, so who is this girl you like so much? And he's like, what? Girl? What?
Canadian Golden Retriever energy.
Yeah, literally. And of course, they have that big final embrace at the end of the show where everybody's like, that's a kiss, right? That's a kiss, right? So
that's like explicitly in the show. And then if any of you are aware, there is an audio drama CD that was produced by the studio that made the Infinity called Cinderecki, which has all of the voice cast, and the story of Cinderecki is Reki is Cinderella and Longa is the prince, and hilarity ensues. There's actually a very lovely animatic on YouTube of Cinderecki. You can watch like the full thing. It's very beautiful, done by like fan artists in the skate community. So
Please tell me Shadow is Gus.
yeah, it was really funny. All right, and here are some like little queer gems that we got going on like in this show in the dub, because as I said, it's pretty interesting that the show is a little bit more explicitly queer in the dub versus the Japanese. I think like half of the voice cast of Skate actually identifies as queer, so it's pretty cool to watch. So let's take a little view.
I don't know, I think it's just my favorite event in New York right now. It was my favorite in 2019 that I had gone to, and I went to so many conventions in 2019. And I think it's my favorite convention that I've been to in the past year. And that includes Colossal Con East, but I got so sick there. And I've never been quite well since. I think I got to all my things. Good on me for brevity. So I think I have exhausted my points. I would say that, I don't know, FlameCon New York, or FlameCon 2023 was, I would say, 10 out of 10. Amazing convention, amazing vibes. It's run by amazing people. I would say if you're in town, if you're local, it's definitely worth the trip. So hopefully I will see you there, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye. More Maid Cafe things are coming, I promise. I've just been losing my mind. I just realized that I don't have a non-ASMR intro.